Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Please confirm whether I'm audible and we are visible. Please put the comment in the comment section. Just wanted to make sure that all of you can see and understand what I'm saying. Okay. So today we will be talking about the Rankers program, and it's a most awaited program in Vajiram, and many students were looking forward to start with the answer writing after the result was out. So today, apart from the features, we will be talking about more important things which are extremely important as far as the mains 2026 is concerned, because I know many of us will be talking about or thinking about only the answer writing, right? But there are so many things apart from the answer writing which we need to inculcate in our timetable, and at the same time we also have to focus on the particular skill which is required to score extra marks. So today with me Sachi ma'am will be there. She will be talking about her experience as far as the mains is concerned, and I hope you all know that Sachi ma'am has been the ranker in 2024. So इनसे बेटर और क्या ऑप्शन आपके सामने हो सकता है, राइट? शी कैन गिव यू द रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल व्हाट शी हैज डन, how she has been preparing in the last 2 months. So today in this session we will be talking about the exact mistake which most of the student commits, and I'm talking about specifically those students who have given interviews or maybe multiple mains, because this rankers program is not open for all, but it is only for those students who have given the mains and multiple interviews, right? So but the first we are going to start with the Sachi ma'am. Sachi ma'am, what do you think in this next 2 months, especially I'm talking about the rankers program, right? You know, all the students are going to be the interview given student or the mains, right, with multiple mains experience. So how do you differentiate these students as far as the mains is concerned? Like, because there are many students we have got in the seniors batch and the other rankers sure shot program or maybe the camp. So what do you think, how do you differentiate these category of students as far as the preparation is concerned, right? So
Sir, in my first attempt, in my first mains, though I was able to get the interview call, but my marks in the mains were not that great to get into the final list. But finally, in my last attempt, in which I got the rank, and I joined this program only, Rankers program. And in that particular thing, I got to know that I had the content. Obviously, because I have already appeared for the mains, I had the basic content. But that was not enough, sir. It's a competitive exam, and you need to have that certain edge from the student that is sitting behind you. Everyone is having the same content, but you need to prepare that extra edge so as to snatch that 0.5 marks or 1 mark in every question, sir.
right.
So that is, I think, the most important thing, sir, which led me to finally get the name, sir.
Yes, student, you need to understand, right? How many students do you think you will be having the experience of interview or the mains? Because the real competition or the real competition is going to be between only those category of students, right? कितने लोग होंगे? ज़्यादा 4,000 5,000, I guess, not more than that, right? So you have to compete with 4 to 5,000 students, and out of them, the 50% will get the interview call, right? Now the question is where will be the competition? आप लोगों को ये चीज ध्यान में रखनी है. Do you think the competition will be writing 150 words or 250 words? Do you think the competition will be as far as the data facts are concerned? Answer is no, because I'll show you the live example. I have picked up a copy of one of the student who is veteran, right? And it seems he has written a very good answer, and actually they are good answer. बट अगेन यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या है? यहाँ पे कंपटीशन मेरा यूपीएससी के साथ नहीं है. मेरा कंपटीशन किसके साथ है? द पर्सन हु इज सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी. मुझे उससे एक्स्ट्रा लिखना है. एंड व्हाट आई हैव टू अज्यूम कि द पर्सन हु इज सिटिंग in front of me is already a rank 1 or maybe the good candidate with multiple interview
IPS as well.
Yes, right. So मुझे ये चीज देखनी है, और yes recommended भी हो सकता है. तो मुझे ये देखना है कि मुझे उससे अच्छा आंसर कैसे लिखना है. It is not about कि मैंने कितना अच्छा आंसर लिखा है.
It's about how better I have written in relative to the next
yes
candidate.
yes so आंसर राइटिंग आपको एक रिलेटिवली इंप्रूव करनी है, राइट? बिकॉज जैसे ही हम लोग टेस्ट सीरीज देखते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ अस थिंक कि यार चलो ठीक है, आई हैव रिटन ऑल द 12 FLTs. But my friends, it is not about writing all the tests in a regular manner. It is about how you are filling the vacuum or the gap between the FLTs, how you are going to manage the time. I'm asking you a very simple question. Shreya, Bharat, I'm asking you a very simple question. If you have to plan next 2 months, right? Because every week you will be writing the full length test. And what will you do? On a daily basis, you will revise this syllabus, the subject, and then on a weekend, you will write the FLTs. But my question to you, how are you going to schedule your timetable, or what you will be doing in 6 days between the week? हम लोग क्या करेंगे? नोट्स उठा के पढ़ेंगे, राइट? उसको रिवाइज करेंगे, डेटा, फैक्ट्स, एग्जाम्पल. बट अगेन, दिस इज नॉट व्हाट यू शुड बी डूइंग, राइट? दिस इज नॉट द ओनली थिंग you should be doing. Rather, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि we don't have to read all the, we don't have to revise the content or as far as the data is concerned, but what is the most critical component and how it should be executed, that I will explain you today in this session. And it's a very easy exercise that will open your mind, right? So as far as the features are concerned of this program, you all know there are going to be 12 FLTs, right? As far as this rankers program is concerned, there are going to be 12 FLTs, right? So the first test start from 21st. So every week, as you can see, there are FLTs, right? But what I'm concerned about, how you are going to utilize the time between these FLTs. That is what my concern is. And I know you cannot do everything because you have your optional, you have to prepare for the essay, right?
Yes.
Then some of you might not be having the good notes also, because बहुत सारे ऐसे senior students होते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि notes भी we have to finalize the notes as well, right?
We do not have enough grip over the PYQs as well.
Yes, PYQ also. Many students focuses on the PYQ also. So how to fill the timetable, right? These 6 days, that is the most important part you need to understand today. And I'll give you a very easy way. No one really thinks about it, right? So 12 FLTs are there, and apart from 12 FLTs, we have the essay program. Yeah, simulation is the last part. Yes, there is one simulation at the end. So this is the schedule of the essay. It will start from the 2nd of July. I hope you all can see, right? So there are classes as well. So there are like 4 classes, then test discussions. So 2 essays, right? 3 essay tests and 5 classes, right? So optional is not something we have included in the rankers program, but yes, current affair is going to be a part of this, because there are approximately, I think, 33 classes we are going to provide for the current affair. So this is a very holistic program which you can think of, right? But now the next important question is, what exactly you need to focus on apart from the answer writing? So I will bring the copies right in front of you, right? For example, all of you can see this copy, and आप देखते ही कॉपी में क्या लग रहा है कि yes, the student has filled up the pages. All of you, I guess, right?
Like the so-called notion of writing 10 points in a 10 marker, the student has
Yes.
even done that.
Yes, हाँ, कि like एक notion बन रखा है कि yes, in 10 marker question we have to write the 10 points. That is the only aim or criteria we follow, right? But remember one thing, the person who will be sitting in front of you will also be writing 10 point or maybe 12 point. Remember this. So the way we have started the discussion कि यहाँ पे problem content की नहीं है, relatively how better you are performing in the examination hall, that is what you have to focus on. And for example, the question was, constitutional silence is often as significant as constitutional text, right? Student has written that the constitution of continuance of pre-constitutional treaties and conventions leave scope for constitutional silence on certain matter, yet significant to
determine constitutional morality.
Right. अब यहाँ पे देखेंगे अगर हम introduction, Okay, we'll talk about that. Now, as far as this question is concerned, is there anything wrong, do you think, with the introduction? Because this is a very open-ended question. This is a very open-ended question. We cannot say there has to be a specific introduction we should use. But यहाँ पे scope ढूंढना है हमको. What is the scope of improvement, right? As far as the scope is concerned, we have to find the scope. कि हम इसको better कैसे बना सकते हैं, right? Now, as far as the constitution silence is concerned, so, ma'am, what do you think? Can we use any other statement or phrases instead of this?
Sir, I think the student has just rephrased what has been written in the question. Constitutional, like the significance of constitutional silence over the constitutional text.
Right.
But I think either the student should have mentioned about that. Till now, we have only focused on constitutional text. Now we should, how the question is about the evolution part.
Very good.
That how it has to be evolved into constitutional silence as well.
Yes. So I think जहां तक मुझे लग रहा है, I have two thoughts in my mind. Right. The first is either we can use some phrases or the quotes, because what do you mean by the constitutional silence? Constitutional silence gives the scope for the constitution to evolve. That is the reason why we say our constitution is a living document.
Yes. Yes.
So that we can use. Right. Similarly, earlier the constitution, as far as the interpretation of judiciary is concerned, it was very textualist approach. Right. Judiciary did not much focus on the constitutional silence wala part, especially until the Menka Gandhi case. So we can also highlight how this constitutional silence concept has started to evolve after the Menka Gandhi case, after the due process of law. So now I have got the idea that whenever the question will come on the constitutional silence or constitution as a living document, I can include or I can think like this, right? I'm not saying that my way of thinking is the best way. I'm not saying that, right? But my way of thinking is different than what others are thinking. That is what matters. Otherwise, how are you going to make your answers or your introduction more valuable or more distinct? यहाँ पे गाइस देखो गेम किस चीज का है. गेम है कि अगर 100 आंसर एग्जामिनर पढ़ रहा है, राइट, और उसको एक आंसर यूनिक दिख रहा है, because obviously we are not going to write the wrong facts or the
even
points.
Examiner is also a human being.
Yes.
So even if he is finding some or the other uniqueness in your introduction, that's done. You will be getting an extra mark.
Yes. Yes. Right. So you at each and every level you have to think how you can be different than the masses. This is the most important part you need to understand, right? Now, after that, let's look at the main body. This is a non-core demand of the question, that is the significance of a constitutional text, and student has done beautifully. Flow chart mein bata diya ki what is the significance of the constitutional text. After that, significance of constitutional silence. Now, all the 10 points, right? This is really good. I'm not saying this is not good. 10 points more than enough. But where is the problem? Student has ignored the directive of the question.
The tail word
of the question. That is the discuss. Right? So constitutional silence is often as significant as constitutional text. But now there are some limitations, issues as well. So that should be my next part. So instead of writing 10 points under the first dimension itself, I would be talking about the significance as well as issues. Significance as well as issues. Right? This is the first area of improvement we can think in as far as the first question is concerned. Right? So issues में आप यहाँ पे आप लिख सकते हो, जैसे कि हम different level पे, जैसे judicial level पे, constitutional level पे itself, right?
How it is subject to subjectivity.
Yes, how like due to various subjectivity reasons and all, right? Institutional overreach की बात कर सकते हैं हम लोग, है ना? तो but issues has to be there. Now the next question. Now this is again very important to understand, student. जब भी हम issues लिखते हैं, most of us think there has to be a way forward. But now I am asking you a question. is there any scope of way forward in this answer or not, since we are going to talk about the issues? Because हम लोग जब भी वे फॉरवर्ड यार वो लिखते हैं आंसर, तो हमको लगता है इश्यूज लिखे हैं, चैलेंजेस लिखे हैं, तो वे फॉरवर्ड भी लिख दो. Yes, online students. Shreya, Bharat, tell me, is there any scope to write the way forward in this question? No? See, again, in this question, there is no scope of way forward. Because if you will try to show the over smartness, you will get caught. Why? Because you will not have the specific point. आप specific point नहीं लिख पाओगे in the way forward. So in such kind of questions, please try to avoid the way forward. Now, what kind of question we should include the way forward? Where the question is about any particular issue or challenge. जहाँ पे हमको specific point पता होना चाहिए, right? So this is the one part.
This is a very open-ended question.
This is a very open-ended question. There can't be a fixed solution to it, right? So that is the thing. Now let's look at the second question. So अब आप लोगों को देख के लग रहा होगा कि this copy is really good copy, right?
In terms of diagram,
in terms of diagram, content, yes. Now this question, accurate electoral rolls are central to democratic legitimacy. In this context, enumerate the constitutional and statutory framework governing the SIR of electoral rolls and highlight the key challenges faced during its implementation. Right? Now with the literal interpretation, अगर हम question को literal interpretation करें, so there are only two demands in the question. One is, what are the constitutional and statutory framework governing
the
right
SIR.
है ना? और दूसरा क्या है? Key challenges faced during its implementation. Right? Simple सी दो demand है. And that is what I think most of us will do, ma'am, right? But don't you think there is some hidden explicit demand? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What is the hidden explicit demand?
One explicit demand could have been, sir, to properly address this accurate electoral rolls are central to democratic legitimacy. So the person should have highlighted the importance of accurate electoral rolls.
Through SIR?
Through SIR.
Yes.
And
right.
The second is, sir, to enumerate. So I think the person has only written, has just simply mentioned.
Yes.
But the person should have more elaborative in his approach. So because इतना literal interpretation पे जाएंगे तो फिर it will not fetch you.
हाँ, मतलब question, see, I can understand कि this is something with the, if we go with the literal interpretation, this is the structure. If we are going to enumerate the constitutional and statutory framework, then we will be talking about the key challenges. But again, this is the majority of the student will be writing. So their structure will be the first part, they will enumerate, right? Then they will talk about the challenges. And then they might be talking about the way forward. Right? But the question you should ask yourself, what was the intent of examiner behind this question? अगर आप intent miss कर दोगे, then you will not be able to identify the hidden explicit demand within the question. So the hidden explicit demand, as far as this question is concerned, after the enumeration, I will talk about how the SIR, right, special intensive revision, is central to the democratic legitimacy. Because for democratic legitimacy, for electoral integrity, the government has introduced the concept of SIR. And if you are going to miss this part in the answer, you will not be able to highlight the
hidden explicit demand.
Yes.
And that is the main purpose of this question as well.
Yes.
If you would not write it, you cannot expect to score, let's say, 4.5 or 5 marks in this.
Yes. Question. So with this structure, 99.99% student will be following this structure. Trust me. Only one, not even 0.1% student will think about here. Let's talk about the significance of the SIR.
To just simply address it. It's not a very hard
हाँ, it is not a rocket science. It is just a way of thinking differently. So अगर मैं SIR पढ़ रहा हूं तो not just to know what are the constitutional and statutory framework, I should rather focus more on the significance कि हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं SIR, right? Why we should know about the SIR itself. So again, यहाँ पे the overall or the bottom line is you have to think how you can create an impact in your answer through the creativity, through the creative mind rather. देखो यार, सिंपल सी बात है, these are the subjective questions. Let me tell you this very bluntly. These mains paper is a very subjective paper, right? There cannot be a very fixed answer. हम लोग ये नहीं बोल सकते कि यही इसका fixed answer है.
Or
right?
What we have told you is the fixed answer.
Yes, what we have told you is the fixed answer. So maybe in this questions I have asked you to divide the question into hidden explicit demand and non-hidden explicit demand. But in other questions, maybe you will find it difficult to identify the scope itself. So उस question में अगर आप नहीं कर पाते हो, that is fine.
That's perfectly okay.
My purpose is how at any cost, how just I can bring more diverse answer. Then
a bit of differentiator than the other.
हाँ, थोड़ा सा difference सोचो. अब ये सब चीजें आएंगी कैसे? I will talk about that. Right? I'll just pick up one more question and I'll show you the areas of improvement. Right? Rest of the points are good. See,
10 points.
Again 10 points in this answer. Now this question. Goods and service tax reforms have profound consequences for Indian federalism. Discuss. Right? So recently, it was inducted GST appellate tribunal highlighted the scale of impact GST reform and post-process adjudication
has on the
Indian federalism, leading competition and cooperation. ठीक है, good introduction. But यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हम अगर but recent context लिखा है तो I think this is good. As far as the introduction is concerned, this is good. Right? Student has also mentioned the flow chart. Now again, a very important thing which I would suggest you. अब मैंने इस पूरी कॉपी में अभी तक I just have read 3 answers, and in 3 answers I have identified a common pattern, and that common pattern is all after the introduction, student is always using a flow chart and diagram. देखो यार, this is not wrong, but don't do anything
just for the sake of
doing it. Because this is a common query we have been receiving. Sir, is it mandatory to include the flow chart after the introduction to address the non-core demand of the question? Answer is no. It is. यार यही मैं बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. These are the subjective question. How can you define the answers or the pattern of these questions with so much objectivity? You cannot apply the objective mind when you are thinking about the answer. Right? So there can't be a one size fits all approach for each and every answer. I will use the flow charts diagram when I think it is necessary to ensure a flow between my introduction and the body. So jabardasti don't use it in the answer.
Just because there is a rumor in the market that you have to use a diagram or a flow chart just after.
Rumor ही answer writing, ma'am, कि flow chart ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डाल दो, right? You can use the flow chart diagrams as much as possible if you think you have to create a mirage in your answer. कि आपके पास last में आधे घंटे बचे and you have 5 questions to attempt. Now you
don't have any other option.
You don't have any other option. In that case,
it's advisable, in fact,
to
use such diagrams in order to complete your answers, but not just for the sake of adding it. You have to do it. That's the concern.
Yes. So this is the problem, right? Now look at the question. अब यहाँ पे I'm going to tell you the very most important thing which you need to take care of in next 2 months. अब यहाँ पे student ने लिखा है positive consequences of GST reforms, rule of law, separation of power, autonomy, right? Consensus platform, effective in
resource pooling and efficiency.
Resource pooling and efficiency, state devolution, right? Then negative consequences. अब यहाँ पे मैं एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन आप लोगों से पूछ रहा हूं. Being a mentor, when I'm reading the answers vertically, that is how the examiner reads the answer, right? आप ये पॉइंट पढ़ा आपने, separation of power. Are you able to deduce what student might have written in the point? Tell me, can you deduce what student might have written after this? Answer is no. So subheading is not basically clear.
Subheading is not in context with the question.
Yes. Right? Rule of law. What do you mean by rule of law?
How it is connected to GST.
How it is connected to GST. So this is the problem. And again it seems the student has used the side heading, इसको side heading बोलते हैं, just for the sake.
Just for the sake.
कि just to bring more visibility. Visibility is important, but unnecessarily don't try to create it.
In fact, it might backfire as well.
Yes, in fact it might backfire. क्योंकि irritate हो जाएंगे examiner and एक perception develop हो जाएगा. And trust me, my friend, in first few answers, if you are not going to develop a perception in the examiner's mind, positive perception I am talking about, he or she will not give you the marks in rest of the answers, no matter how good you write. Right? So please try to create an impression in the first few answers, be it introduction, be it demand of the question, structuring of the answer, and the conclusion. Just in first 4 or 5 questions, and after that you will be surprised to see you will get very good marks in the mains, right? So pura game hi perception ka hai. Ab dekho how we could have done better, though the explanation given in the statement is good, fair enough, right? Fair enough. But how I could have done better? I think question says the impact consequences for Indian federalism. So I should be having some kind of framework or template which I could have used, because GST की वजह से कहीं ना कहीं जो different फेडरलिज्म के फॉर्म है, right, they are going to
be
impacted. For example, cooperative federalism. For example, competitive federalism. For example, developmental federalism.
Resource federalism, environmental federalism.
Institutional federalism. Institutional federalism. Resource federalism.
Green federalism.
Yes, very good. Right? तो आप फेडरलिज्म को ब्रेक डाउन तो करना सीखो. Otherwise, how you are going to use the keywords in the answer, how you are going to reflect in your answer that you are aware of the vocabulary as far as the GS paper 2 is concerned. आपकी जो language है, it should look like. यहाँ पे भी दिख रहा है हमको separation of power, autonomy, consensus platform, but these are not the right vocabulary as far as this federalism topic is concerned. So अब यहां पे देखो मेरे लिए इजी हो गया है. कोऑपरेटिव, कॉम्पिटिटिव, डेवलपमेंटल फेडरलिज्म, राइट, इंस्टीट्यूशनल फेडरलिज्म, रिसोर्स फेडरलिज्म. Under this, if I am going to add just 1 or 2 points, these 5 points are going to be more effective, more impactful, more visible than writing 10 points or dumping 10 points in my answer. I hope you are getting what I am trying to explain here, right? So this entire answer writing is not about how much you are writing, but what exactly you are writing and how you are creating a difference, basically. How you are differentiating your argument than others. तो कंपटीशन कहां पे है आपको रियलाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है. हम लोगों को बहुत टाइम ऐसा लगता है कि कंपटीशन कंटेंट में है. कंटेंट का कंपटीशन ही नहीं है यार. All of you who are going to be a part of this program have good experience as far as the mains is concerned. Interview hai, multiple mains hai, but the problem is ki you have to think beyond what you have been thinking. You have to go extra mile, right?
Extra mile.
कि एक नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मुझे कैसा मिलेगा, and that 1 marks will come only from the creativity.
Because content is same.
Yes.
It's not that you do not know about these words.
Yes.
It's just that you have to think at the right time in the right question.
Yes. Right. So I hope आप लोगों को आइडिया लग गया होगा. ऐसे ही बहुत सारे चीजें हैं in answer writing which we are discussing with our students. राइट हम लोग तो शायद कंटेंट बहुत कम डिस्कस करते हैं एंड व्हाई डू वी नीड टू डिस्कस द कंटेंट यार इज इट डिफिकल्ट टू राइट 150 वर्ड्स और 250 वर्ड्स इन द आंसर
कंटेंट तो
भरा हुआ है प्रॉब्लम इज कि उसको अरेंज कैसे करना है so in one to one discussions that is the most important feature of this program that we have got the 5 rankers right including Sachi ma'am and we have a good team me I am there Mohit sir is there so we only focus on these aspects because in next 2 months I cannot teach you to read something extra. I cannot ask you or request you to prepare some extra notes. But it is my promise to all of you, whatever the notes you have, with the same notes, you can score extra marks. That is, I can teach you. But for that, you have to attempt the test and you have to come for one-to-one session. Now, most important part again, how we should be preparing ourselves to make our answers more creative. That is the most important part and definitely it will not come only with the answer writing, right? So ma'am aapko kya lagta hai what should be the how we should practice, how all the students who are watching this should practice to develop this kind of a skill or the habit?
Sir, I think the basic map given by the UPSC itself is the syllabus and the PYQ.
Okay.
So most of the students must be knowing about the syllabus as people have already appeared for the mains and the interview. Now the thing all boils down to the PYQs. Now that is if we brainstorm those questions, if we develop a thinking capability that okay, this is the question and on what lines we can think and on what correct lines we can think, that is the most important part that I feel is important.
Yes, very good. So for that, I think what we can do, okay, remember this part. You should have only 3 sources in front of you when you are preparing, right? For example, your next test is GS2. आप GS2 का पहला टेस्ट है आपका, right? I'm already assuming you have the notes already prepared. Even if it is not up to the mark, fine. Just don't worry about it. Basic notes would suffice. Then the PYQ, right? And the third thing is you should have a pen and paper. Obviously, pen and paper. And one digital device. We cannot live without the digital accessibility, right? Digital accessibility. Now, what you are supposed to do? For example, in GS paper 2, what you are supposed to do? You have to look at the previous year's question, topic wise. आप topic wise previous year's questions उठा लो, right? For example, there is a question. For example, there is a question, discuss the or discuss the significance of Article 32 as a cornerstone of the Indian democracy. Of the Indian democracy. This is a PYQ. How many of you are going to leave this question? यार इसको क्या करना है तो आता ही है, right? This is what we think. But let me ask you one thing. Any one of you, in 30 seconds, can you tell me just 6 or 7 keywords with which you are going to start your answer with? What is the significance of Article 32 as far as the or as far as the democratic significance is concerned? Just मुझे 6 कीवर्ड बता दो. If you are not able to think these 5, 6 keywords in 30 seconds, I am sure you are going to mess up in your answer. You will not be able to bring the visibility in your points. फिर आप random point लिख के आओगे. Now ask yourself, is this difficult to fill 150 the pages when 150 words, 250 words? Answer is no.
You can even write double the 150 or 250 words.
Yes, even you can write the answer of this question in 250 words. But the problem is, when I'm asking you, give me the 6 keywords with which you are going to use to start your statement, you are confused now. Why you are not able to think the 6 keywords? Because you have not developed that particular skill. आप खाली कंटेंट को याद कर रहे हो. यहां पे आप, आई एम प्रीटी श्योर डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर का कोट यूज कर लोगे, वैल्यू एडिशन यूज कर लोगे, बट जस्ट वन और टू, यूजिंग वन और टू कोट्स इन द आंसर विल नॉट
be enough.
Yes, it will not help you to fetch 5 marks, right? Or maybe 4, not even 4 marks. So यहाँ पे अब मुझे देख के मुझे यहाँ पे पता होना चाहिए कि अब similarly, let me ask you another question. For example, discuss the role of, or discuss the significance of role of CAG in democratic governance. अब इसमें 6 कीवर्ड ढूंढ लो आप. Very simple question we are asking, right?
Basic Lakshmikant would be, you would
हाँ.
be reading it n number of times.
Yes. So अब यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम इसी चीज की है कि अब इसमें अगर आपको कॉर्नर स्टोन ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी बोला है तो यू शुड नो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे हम जुडिशियल इंडिपेंडेंस, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इंटरप्रिटेशन, प्रोटेक्शन टू फंडामेंटल राइट्स, राइट, लेजिस्लेटिव लेजिटिमेसी or constitutional legitimacy, constitutional morality, social justice. So these kind of keywords we should be thinking about as far as any topic is concerned. Any topic is concerned. Right? Similarly, as far as the CAG, role of CAG is concerned, we can think in the terms of, for example, the financial accountability, right? Even we can also link it with the cooperative federalism in the financial matter or fiscal matters,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So I should have like 6-7 keywords और dimension जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, या आप लोगों में टेम्पलेट्स भी बोलते हैं बहुत लोग. अब ये टेम्पलेट्स रटने से काम नहीं चलेगा. मार्केट में टेम्पलेट्स बनी बनाई आ रही हैं, you will not be able to use it. So the idea is कि, for example, first week you are preparing for GS2. How you are supposed to prepare? Sit with the PYQ and go through each and every topic. Try to brainstorm it. आप brainstorm करो कि whether you can collect some or whether you can recall 6-7 keywords which you are going to use to write the answer or to start with the introduction itself, right? And then the second step, right? So the first step was thinking about the keyword. So यहाँ पे मैं लिख देता हूं. The first is the keywords for every topic, and the second is the value addition. How you can use some value addition. अगर आप value addition नहीं सोच पा रहे हो, go and check your notes whether you have the value addition in your notes or not, right? अगर notes में ही नहीं होंगे तो कहां पे use करोगे? Then update your notes. And then that is how you are going to recall. इसी को हम active recalling भी बोलते हैं. Active recalling, right? And if you get stuck, आ जाओ फिर digital. You can use AI. If you are not able to think the keywords, the framework, then the final option is solution is use AI. But अगर आप पहले ही use कर लोगे, then it will be difficult. Right?
It will be a measure of last resort.
Yes, it is a last resort. So this is the idea we are going to implement, and most importantly in this entire program, right, we are going to emphasize on brainstorming, right? So every week there will be a brainstorming sessions. There will be 1-to-1 sessions जहां पे हम लोग बैठ के like out of 20 questions at least 10 to 12 questions we will analyze, we will brainstorm, we will see how to think, how to write differentiating answers, right? So I hope this is clear. Now, any other question you have? So I am pretty sure you are already aware of the features now, since we have started the discussion with the same. But still, if you have any doubt, you can fill the form and you can just mail your details, like your mark sheet, your DAF, right, on this email address, and the team will get back to you, because that is a procedure we have to follow for the enrollments, right? So again, even if you are not a part of any program and you are giving mains this year still, and you are confused what needs to be done,
You can just walk in.
you can just walk in with your answers. Please do not come without the answers, because if we are not going to look at you without looking at your answers, it is very difficult to give you the right advice, right? Many students are already visiting, they are discussing their answers, and then it is easy for them to take the right decision कि कहाँ focus कहाँ पे करना है, notes पे, brainstorming पे, right? So please, for that you have to bring your answers. We are always there. So I think we will end up this session here, and I will be taking, ma'am will be taking few more sessions as far as the brainstorming is concerned for every paper, GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope it will help you. Okay, so anything else, ma'am, as a last message to everyone?
Nothing, sir. It's just that since you have already given mains and interview, and but not get into the final list, I know how it feels. But I think some extra thing has to be done with regards to your answer writing, and I think this program would do, because I was also part of this program.
Okay, okay, 24 mein.
In 24, in which I got the selection.
Okay.
So it helped me a lot. So I think you should all join in order to move from an aspirant to an officer.
Yes, that's good, ma'am. So we are glad that you were, but I did not know that you were the part of that program.
I was part of 2024 ranking program.
Okay. So yes, guys. So please, Adiraj, yes, you can come anytime. We are always here. Okay. Adiraj, you can come anytime. We are here from 10:30, 11 to 6, 7 in the evening. So whatever the doubts you have, just walk in here. Itna mat socho. Right? And it's my promise to you that after discussing just few answers, you will realize the mistakes, or you will realize the scope of improvement. It's just a 2 or 3 question. It's my promise to you. And in next 2 months, it is very important to realize the scope of improvement in answer writing, right? Otherwise, आप लिखते चले जाओगे, कोई फायदा नहीं होगा यार. बहुत लोग टेस्ट सीरीज के
multiple mains, then
हाँ,
you will not get it.
You will not be able to get out of the cycle. लोग खाली बस फोकस कर रहे हैं आंसर राइटिंग, 12 टेस्ट लिख लूंगा, 14 टेस्ट लिख लूंगा. It is not going to help you, trust me. Without knowing where to improve, without knowing how others are thinking, you have to focus on the skill, right? So I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir.
And hope to see you soon through one-to-one discussion and in group discussion as well, which we are going to conduct brainstorming sessions. And if you will have any question, please fill the form. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. All the best.
Yes, Adiraj. क्या बोल के आए, मतलब सीधे आ जाओ बस. Talk that you need to meet Biren sir, Sachi ma'am, like that. Okay? Bring your answers. Thank you.